Morning edition.
The continuance of the proclamation of emergency made on the 24th day of November 2020 until the 23rd day of May 2021.
The Prime Minister seeking approval to extend emergency orders also.
Now their cases are pretty much on the rise, and so that's a cause of concern.
The effect COVID-19 in San Salvador is having on Club Med, and
the masks are cotton and they are easy to breathe through.
A veteran taxi cab driver putting her downtime to good use. We have those stories and much, much more when the morning edition comes right back.
First, it's more than just our name, more than just our achievements. It's our nature, and it's where we put our customers. At Bahamas First, we've refreshed our look, but our nature remains the same. We design insurance solutions that protect our customers from life's uncertainties, whatever they may be. We equip you for the future so that you can recover stronger. Bahamas First, what's first for you comes first for us.
Hi, I'm Dr. Pinder. During this global pandemic, we ask for you to be responsible. As we fight the COVID-19 virus together, we would like to encourage you to do the following. Wash your hands. Cover your mouth and nose with a flex elbow or tissue when coughing and sneezing. Practice social distancing by staying 6 feet apart. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth, and if you must go out, wear a mask. We stay here for you. Please stay home for us. To those of you on the front line, we salute you as we continue this fight together.
This message has been brought to you by the Ministry of Health in conjunction with GD Media Solutions and this television station.
Good morning, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis, and welcome to the morning edition. Taking a look at your weather forecast this morning, a high-pressure system centered just east of the islands will support mostly stable conditions with gentle to fresh winds across this country. It will be partly mostly sunny and warm with a slight chance of a few stray showers today. Fair and mild tonight. We'll get up to a high today of 80 degrees with an overnight low of 61 degrees. Well, let's take you out to our streets this morning where Charles Fisher and the morning traffic team is standing by with your Tuesday morning traffic.
The traffic report is sponsored by Bahamas First. First in insurance. Today, tomorrow.
A pleasant good morning to everybody out there. We are here at a busy Al-Waki, better known as the Fish Fry. And if you got up early this morning like some of us, you saw a thick fog in the area this morning, and some of these persons are still seeing some of the remnants of that. Joining me this morning here on the morning edition is Constable Prince Dean. And Prince, I told you about that early morning fog. You guys had any problem with that?
Yes, we had a lot of problems with that. I was glad there were no accidents due to this fog. A lot of persons, they can't see when it's there. There's no fog. So, however, we had problems traversing through the streets because of the fog on your windows. You got to keep using the windshield wiper. But that's basically it, you know.
Now we are in this heavy traffic area right here by Al-Waki, the Fish Fry. Trucks up and down, secure loads.
Yes, I want to talk to all the Mack truck drivers this morning. Those of you who are driving on traversing through the streets of Nassau with these unsecure loads, you will be ticketed for these. You leave a lot of debris behind, and that causes accidents, a lot of sand and dirt. However, we want you to also remember, as a reminder, to drive with your insurance and your driver's license in these vehicles. And you Mack truck drivers, you have to pay attention to the streets. A lot of you are using your cell phone while operating these motor vehicles. That is a no-no. We are not tolerating you operating these motor vehicles, driving without due care and attention. You already can't see the vehicles in front of you the smaller vehicles that are traversing through the streets of Nassau. So we advise you to pay attention to the streets, all right? You're already in a big loaded truck. However, be more courteous to other drivers.
We're also warning motorists to give the driver in front of you distance as well. As we saw a few minutes ago, someone was getting ready to turn and they were right up on them.
Yes, you're following the vehicle too closely. All right, a vehicle is about to turn. It has on its turning signal. Give the vehicle enough space so that it can turn. I advise those persons that are pulling up too close to these vehicles. That is an offense too also. However, we continue to preach to those persons also on the turning lane that when you're turning, do not turn over into the other lane until that lane is ascertained. You are already ascertained your way clear to turn through.
Once again, we're here at Al-Waki Fish Fry, right in front of the cricket club, where traffic is quite heavy this morning, and that's going to do it. We're going to send it back to you, LaDawn, in the studio.
Off the top this morning, Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, making it known in the House of Assembly Monday his government's intent to extend the emergency orders. He said at the next sitting tomorrow a resolution will be moved seeking approval.
And whereas having regard to the continuing proliferation of confirmed cases in neighboring jurisdictions and active cases in the Bahamas, and whereas the state of public emergency in the Bahamas continues, and whereas it continues to be necessary and expedient for securing the public safety, the defense of the Bahamas, the maintenance of public order, the suppression of mutiny, rebellion, and riot, and for maintaining supplies and services essential to the life and well-being of the community, and therefore be it resolved in this House, A, approves the continuance of the proclamation of emergency made on the 24th day of November 2020 until the 23rd day of May 2021.
The Bahamas has been commended internationally for the measures taken in order to combat the virus, but the Prime Minister says that does not mean the fight is over.
As we look around and see the number of funerals in violation of the order, the number of memorials in violation of the order, and even Junkanoo groups engaging in rush out in violation of the order. And I want to remind the public that we should all be vigilant, because it only takes one individual to become affected, one infected, and the virus can have catastrophic and devastating effect on our society and placing us in a similar position as seen in the North.
Minister of Social Services, the Honorable Frankie Campbell, being commended for the swift action he took in regards to a video that went viral alleging that abuse was going on at the Children's Emergency Hostel. Member of Parliament for Angliston, the Honorable Glenys Hannah Martin, made this key point.
The ministry, the government, looked to an overarching, architecture in how the policies that relate to children in these homes, how discipline is meted out, how there are checks and balances, what is the quality assurance check of the regulators, like the government, to ensure that no vulnerable child is again put at risk in a way in which that we all, most of us, feel repulsed by.
Minister Campbell responded this way.
Bring the written report, which will be a lot more detailed and comprehensive, that it will include all of that. We are at present working on a management agreement that would be standardized for all of our homes, that will contain professional standards. I will also speak to the practice and the policy now and how we will review it. I want to say to the nation and to my colleagues that this is not a partisan issue for me, and we are open to any suggestions and recommendations.
The annual Parliamentary Church service took place on Monday at the Church of God of Prophecy Tabernacle on East Street as parliamentarians seek God's guidance for the year ahead. Senior pastor of Bahamas Harvest Church, Mario Moxie, told them that they must follow the righteous path.
When you tell your story of being a member of Parliament or being a member of the Senate, serving in this government. Tell your story in such a way that you don't have to omit portions of your story, that you can tell the whole thing. And I want to encourage you, don't trade the next 20 years of your career for the next 20 minutes of self-gratification. Don't make that mistake. Live your life in such a way that when you sit down with your grandchildren, something that all of us desire to do, and they hear the story of Mama and Papa, you don't have to worry about them asking questions that you can't answer because you took a deal underneath the table and you had to keep it to yourself.
Parliamentarians were reminded that even names carved in stone don't always stand the test of time.
So many times we try to create legacy by putting our names on buildings. That doesn't secure a legacy. We all witnessed just last year how the Clarence A. Bain building was demolished. It's no longer there. Buildings are demolished. Names on buildings are changed all the time. That doesn't guarantee that you'll have a legacy. Your legacy is determined by the things that you do, the life that you live, and the stories people will say and tell about you long after you're gone.
And still to come, the Atlantis Resort forced to scale back operations yet again. That story and more in the morning edition continues.
One of the most important questions that you could ever ask is why. Somebody wants you to join the gang? Why? Somebody wants you to use store? Why? Somebody wants you to go on a move with them? Why? I've met so many people that messed up their future by not asking that question. People are now blind, confined to wheelchairs in prison, and even dead because they failed to ask the question, why? I mean, it's your future. Shouldn't you at least know why you mess it up? But let me ask you a question. Why would you choose to mess up our nation's #1 industry, tourism? Why would you choose to mess up a future for your little brother, your little sister, or even your own little children by promoting gangs? I'm Carlos Reed, asking you to create the kind of future that you want to see by choosing to ask the question, why?
Love is in the air everywhere. And here at the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, we are bringing you a ZNS Valentine special. My Blind Valentine follows the story of two individuals who test their dating skills on a blind date and possibly find their one true love. Viewers will also be eligible for prizes. All you have to do is send a photo of you and your Valentine to webproduction@znsbahamas.com, saying why you love that person, and one winner will be announced at the end of each show. Remember to mark the date on your calendar, February 10th and 11th, for a TV special like no other, and a chance to win. My Blind Valentine. Love is in the air with ZNS and the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Health reporting 6 new cases of COVID-19 in its latest release. 3 cases in Grand Bahama, 2 in the Berry Islands, and 1 right here in New Providence. The total number of cases in the Bahamas now stands at 8,133. There are 1,185 active cases, 6,720 recoveries, and 12 hospitalizations. 58,651 tests have been completed, and the COVID-19 death toll remains at 175. The Atlantis Resort set to furlough more staff next month. Staff members were told that effective February 4th, operations will be scaled back again. Guest reservations at the Royal Towers will now move to the Cove with the hope that the team members will be back by the spring. Furloughed workers are expected to receive vacation payments for February, and those who are eligible will continue to receive medical coverage until further notice. Now, according to Labor Director John Pinder, the additional furlough can run until the end of the emergency order. 30 days after that, executive management will have to make a decision.
Secondly, if the hotels have to make a decision to terminate staff, they can become unemployed. If they're in furlough, they're still employed, just pending the business rebounding to the point where they can call those persons who on the extended furlough back to work. So we are hopeful the United States would have put some policies in place to speak to persons who are the vaccination, being able to travel, or they can relax some of the protocols that they're putting in place as relates to persons having to quarantine upon return back to the United States if they visit certain countries. If we can get some sort of agreement in place that the Bahamas is, to some extent, receive some exemption from the quarantine part of that, I believe we can survive. We just have to make it easy, accessible for persons to get the various tests that is necessary for them to return home.
The Club Med Columbus Isle Resort over in San Salvador is expected to open its doors before Christmas this year. However, the move to temporarily close the popular resort has dealt a devastating blow to that island's economy. According to President of the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union, Darren Woods, some 172 of his union members have been impacted by the resort's closure.
Club Med Resort, we were really trying to see how best that they could have gotten government intervention to really reopen earlier, but of course their major concern was the limited beds and the health facility that's limited on the island. And now we have where there are cases on the island, because they were one of a few islands who didn't have any cases. And now their cases are pretty much on the rise. And so that's a cause of concern, because we need to know what was causing it, where the persons are not following the necessary protocols. But the Club Med Resort, they're still closed, and they're not likely to open until December of this year.
From the courts, murder-accused 24-year-old Fred Lloyd of Marshall Road appeared before Chief Magistrate Joyanne Ferguson Pratt on Monday to answer to the charge of intentionally and unlawfully causing the death of Candace Smith. Smith's lifeless body was found by an abandoned building near a hand pump through a track road off Marshall Road. Represented by Ian Cargill, Lloyd was not required to enter a plea and will return to court on March 25th at noon, where he will be served with a voluntary bill of indictment. He was denied bail and was remanded to the Bahamas Department of Corrections until his trial. The police are seeking the public's help to capture 27-year-old Clesso Roll and 23-year-old Adari Wright, who are wanted in connection with a recent homicide. Posters of the two male suspects have been posted throughout eastern New Providence. Both men are said to frequent the eastern area and hang around Potter's Key Dock. Wright of Fox Hill stands between 5'6" and 5'9" tall with a slim build. Roll of Obadiah Avenue, Smithsville, has medium brown complexion. Officer in charge of the homicide unit, Superintendent Michael Johnson, says posting the flyers in the areas known to the suspects is expected to pay dividends.
So we've already gotten some positive results based on the flyers that we've put up, and we believe this strategy will help the public to assist us in identifying where these persons may be. Well, specifically the Fox Hill community. All right, we've gotten good assistance from that community, and we are asking the public assistance again.
Superintendent Johnson says this is not the first time his team has carried out this kind of initiative.
It's keeping up with the commissioner's policy. All right, we know once we do these type of things, we've been getting positive results from the community, and we ask the community again to assist us in identifying these two persons. We believe that once the community understands what the police is doing, it's not all about putting people before the court. We have to have that relationship with our community to assist us in advancing these investigations.
Adjunct lecturer at the University of the Bahamas School of Social Science, Joey Gaskins Jr. believes the Bahamas needs to become more innovative when it comes to addressing global social issues. The leading social analyst says we as a country have to change our course.
So I think the big thing that we have to prepare for in 2021 is to look at how the shifts in our society will reverberate through our fellow Bahamians, through the structures that we've come to know and understand in very particular ways. That's going to shift. And what we need Bahamians to do is, one, be understanding that that shift is coming, it's happening, and things won't be the same, and we have to be adaptive. We have to become flexible. What does that mean from a policy standpoint for government? Well, it means now more than ever, our government has to be imaginative about how we move forward. And actually, as tragic as COVID-19 has been, especially as it relates to the loss of life, it's important for us to see this as an opportunity as well. And so it behooves all of us to prepare, not just for the next one, right, for the next pandemic, but also to prepare a more resilient Bahamas.
The Ministry of Public Works continuing with the cleaning of drains here in New Providence. This as a number of communities are challenged by flooding during heavy rainfall events. Minister of Public Works, the Honorable Desmond Bannister, says the move is necessary, particularly given the impacts of climate change in countries like the Bahamas.
We have contractors who go out to clean drains, and they're supposed to clean drains in every community. So if Nassauvians see contractors who are not cleaning drains in their community, the Ministry of Public Works has a hotline that you can call in, and you can send photographs. It's a WhatsApp hotline. So you can send photographs of the drains and the challenges, and we'll get someone out there to do it.
Minister Bannister says a senior engineer at the Ministry of Works has been assigned to address drain challenges here in the capital.
We have climate change, which is very real for a small island state such as ours. So water levels are higher, and there have been high tides are bringing water into communities. And we need to be able to tackle these challenges in modern ways. And so we're looking at new ways to tackle them also.
Stay close, we've got more right after this. You're watching The Morning Edition.
You are a healthcare worker. Thank you for fighting on the front lines against COVID-19. It is normal to feel stressed when taking care of others who don't feel well. But remember to take care of yourself. Don't forget to rest between shifts, eat healthy meals, engage in physical activity, and stay connected to family and friends. Avoid harmful coping strategies like drinking alcohol. For managers of healthcare workers, the same tips apply to you. Here's how you can help. Consistently give updates. Rotate staff between high and low stress level functions. Encourage work breaks and ensure that they know where they can find help. We are here for you.
During this pandemic, it is our duty to ensure that all citizens, residents, and visitors are adhering to the COVID-19 safety protocol. Restaurants may operate utilizing curbside pickup, drive-through, takeaway, or delivery. Any establishment who allows the entry of any person not wearing a mask is liable upon a summary conviction to a fine of $500. I am Ambassador Ashanti Ruka of the COVID-19 Enforcement Unit. Save a life that may be your own.
This message brought to you by the Ministry of National Security in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Welcome back to the Morning Edition. The Bahamas Basketball Federation has named its preliminary roster for the next round of FBIA AmeriCup qualifiers against Puerto Rico and the USA. The players include Nathan Bain, Dominic Bridgewater, Ronnie Cadu, Michael Carey, Elijah Clark, Shaquille Clare, Dwight and Kadeem Colby, Jerron Cornish, Adam Johnson, Zane Knowles, Nashad and Willis Mackey, Tavario Miller, Travis Munnings, David Nesbitt, Ahmad Pratt, Godfrey Roll, Lyndon Rose, Corey Sands, Kentwan Smith, Kemsey Sylvester, Deshaun Taylor, and Michael Thompson. The next round of qualifiers are set for February 19th and 20th in Puerto Rico. Bahamian professional basketball player Mark St. Fort has signed on to play with the Fukushima Firebonds in the Japanese Second Division. St. Fort started the season in the Japanese First Division, but was not receiving much playing time. St. Fort has played on 4 continents in his professional career, spanning some 8 countries. The Ole Miss Running Rebels women's basketball team trying to put a loss to Florida on Sunday behind them as they get set to take on 20th ranked Tennessee on Thursday. Coach Yo says there are going to be growing pains with such a young team.
This is their first time having to experience adversity, so I'm sure they don't like it, but I just told them it's not going to change until they change. And honestly, right now, with this group and how inexperienced and immature we are as just a unit, and I don't mean that in a bad way, we just are. I don't even talk to them about winning. I'm talking to them about, learning how to fight and compete. These are just growing pains that we're going to have to go through as I consider this for me with this group, year one.
The UAB women's tennis team is also coming off a loss over the weekend against Alabama. Despite the setback, freshman Sydney Clark expects that experience to help her team as they move through the rest of the season.
It's motivation for us to continue to push and to do better, especially since we played a team not in our conference, in the SEC conference. So, it was really good to play a higher level and see where we are, and it'll help us to gauge on what in practice what we need to work on more. So it was a good opportunity to see where we stand with our competitors, and when we do play teams in our conference, we'll be much better off.
Don't go anywhere. The Morning Edition is back right after this.
Based tourism supplies almost $50 million in revenue for Androsians every year. These priceless resources will continue to provide renewable benefits for thousands of people for years to come, as long as we take long-term action to preserve what's rightfully ours. The natural environment has played a vital role in our culture and economy for generations. Let's take care of nature, and nature will take care of us.
What I love most about working for the Bahamas tonight is that we don't only focus on New Providence, we cover the entire Bahamas. We have a team here in the Northern Bahamas that is ready to bring you the stories, the people, and the news that matter to you. From point A to Z, from covering hurricanes to elections and everything in between.
A female veteran taxicab driver is putting her downtime to good use by creating some very unique cotton and crochet masks, hats, and caps for customers in this COVID-19 environment. The morning team visited the budding seamstress at her home while hard at work sewing masks that she says have become a hot seller.
The masks are cotton and they are easy to breathe through.
Pinned tightly on separate clothing lines is where you will find two-sided cotton colorful masks created from a variety of Bahamian handprints by Katrina King of K-Hopia's collections. Since the taxicab industry was dealt a blow due to COVID-19, Katrina used her hidden talent of sewing to stitch up a few masks from the comfort of her yard on McKinney Drive to sustain her family.
Right now, because of the COVID-19, it is put a dampen on the economy. So it's a little challenging being able to pay for your bills, pay the bills and everything. So I decided to just go ahead and do the mask. I know I wanted persons to see what I'm doing, so I just brought it on the outside, and I find that everybody is passing by, they're watching and they're seeing, and sometimes they say, well, Miss King, when they get to know me, they said, I saw you and I came by. I decided to come because I couldn't stop because a car was behind me or something, so they end up stopping another day.
And while sales are going pretty good, Katrina says she noticed a trend from her customers.
I can say the black is pretty much a big seller, black, blue, and burgundy. I can say that much. I can't keep enough black on hand. So I do crochet mask as well. If someone wants the crochet mask, I would do that for them. I don't just keep them on hand, but if someone wants it, I would do it for them.
And you have the matching caps and hats.
Yes, we have the matching crochet caps and the hats as well.
A humbled Katrina says she remains optimistic that the economy will make a turnaround so that she can not only continue keeping Bahamians safe by creating masks, but to also get back into the taxi business.
I see myself continuing to do this, but we know that the pandemic is not going to be forever. So with the mask, it may only sell up until probably the end of the year. We don't know, but as long as it's here, the COVID is here, I'm going to be doing the mask.
Best of luck to you, Katrina. And that's a wrap for us this morning. For the entire morning team, I'm LaDawn Davis. Make it a great day, everyone.